Welcome, everyone. My name is Felicia, the VertForce Talent Manager, and I will be today's Coffee and Connect host. We're introducing our brand new employment partner, Working Solutions, a leader in providing customer care, sales, and tech support to a wide range of industries and nationally recognized clients. So, what does that mean for you? Well, Working Solutions is your golden ticket to flexible, remote gig work, which means you can work and earn as much or as little as you want. Today, we're joined by two members of the hiring team who are going to give us all the deets on an effort to hire 4,000 members of the Woohoo Crew. Let's get started.
Virtual employment is here to stay. I'm military spouse, VertForce founder, and your remote work expert, Kimber Hill. Subscribe now to learn how you too can thrive in the virtual workforce.
We were founded by our president, Kim Holney. So again, she kind of like a little bit of her background. She started this company because her family was moving across country and she didn't necessarily want to start over. And I know many in this group can kind of relate to that. So she was always looking for a way to work remotely and build a network and then a business out of it. And that has kind of changed into what it is today. Our contractors and our best contractors really are hardworking, motivated, resilient. They are problem solvers, empathetic, and they have a desire to succeed themselves and to help others do the same. So when we're looking at communities that kind of check those boxes that we can reach out to and hire from to get the best talent, the military community and military spouses are like a perfect fit for us. So you all have life experience, you have travel experience, education, maybe you just haven't been able to focus on your career. There's a lot of potential and a lot of great folks that we know would be really great to work with. And so
when I was doing recruiting as a recruiter for Working Solutions, when I was conducting those interviews, everybody, but even more specifically, military spouses, veterans, would say those same things. I have kids at home. I need a flexible schedule. I need to make sure I can get them on the bus safely, that they get off safely. If they've got an event, I want to go to it. That desire to have a career that moves with you, that you're not starting over. And so I would get on these calls and I felt like it was just like you're preaching to the choir. You're just so excited because you're like, yes, I understand that too. And people with such great talent and skills that it's outside life sources that make you not be able to move forward as much as you want. So that's where once I found this job, I get like I couldn't tell enough people about it quickly enough that like this will work for you. All of our opportunities are 100% virtual, remote jobs, and something you can move with you from duty station to duty station. I mean, as long as you're stationed within the U.S., we do need to be within the U.S. We also provide flexible hours that you get to choose. Say create your own schedule. Each of the clients have hours of operations, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. And you can go in each week and set your schedule how you want. You can pick and choose, okay, I want to do 3 hours here. You can schedule in as little as 15-minute increments. So you could be like, I can squeeze in 30 minutes before the kids wake up and get them on the bus. Okay, now I can take 2 hours here. And I keep talking about kids. This also works for people with retirement who just want a little bit of extra pay, want shopping money. Or somebody who's like, I want this to be full-time. I want to do 60 hours a week. I mean, we have every variety that you want to take on. You set your schedule weekly. There may be weeks where you're like, I can only give you 10 hours this week. And there might be another week where you're like, I want spending money for Christmas. I'm taking on 50 plus hours. You can take control of how much you want to schedule. And that's why I really feel like, especially for this community, it's a good fit. It's going to offer you what you're looking for with that flexibility. Also, and I don't know who all is familiar with independent contracting, but there are a lot of competitors out there where you have to pay a fee to join or to build your application. There's no cost with us. Some charge for education. Ours is free. What we provide all of our instructors are certified teachers who have classroom experience. They take the information from the client of what we need to learn and they break it down into an instructor-led curriculum so that you guys can really learn and understand the material. You're not just getting thrown on the phone. We offer a minimum guarantee, which basically means a lot of places you're paid per call. Or per, how long you're on the phones, you have to be actively taking a call. But say you sign up for a shift or we have some that are 24/7 and you take a 1 a.m. shift and you don't get any calls. With a lot of companies, you don't get paid for that time. We believe you should, if you're working, you should get paid. So with all of our programs, we offer a minimum guarantee. We also make sure that you have hours available for you to work. When we post an opening, it's because we're basing it off of forecasting. We know the anticipated volume of the calls for this season. We know how many people we need to cover that. So we're only going to contract as many pros as we need to meet that forecasting. So you're not fighting it out to get hours with other people. We're making sure that you have plenty available for you to schedule. What I think is kind of the biggest benefit right now, we have an awesome referral bonus going right now. Once you're an active pro, so you need to be started working on the program, if you refer a friend and they start the program, so they need to actually get on the phones and then start taking calls. I think they ask for at least 4 hours productive time that they've worked. You earn $400 for your referral, and that's for each person you refer. So if you're an active agent and you start going to all your other military spouse friends or neighbors, people who need work from home jobs. So anybody you refer who starts with us, that's an extra $400 in your pocket. So a lot of our programs, we request at least 20 hours a week. You're able to schedule as many more as you'd like, but they look for at least 20 hours a week. But TurboTax is a cool exception because it's kind of during the peak and everything, it's pretty much unlimited availability. But they ask that you work at least 10 hours a week. So if you need more flexibility, this is a great program for you. You're not limited to the 10. You can set as many hours a week as you'd like, but they want to see that you're probably scheduling and working at least 10 a week. We have something new called, it's a shift alert, which basically if you grabbed all your times, but then you were like, oh, you know what, I really would like 2 more hours tomorrow, but it's taken up, you can put in on an app for alert request, and then you'll get a little message when that opens available and you can grab those extra times. So there's a lot of flexibility. You're setting your schedule for just a week at a time, but then you're also able to grab same day or have an alert for something opening up. Lots of different ways that you can kind of flex around what else might be going on, in your life during that time, doctor's appointments, anything else that pops up.
We have been working with TurboTax for the past few years, and so our contractors, or our pros as we refer to them, really love this program. It is a favorite. So essentially what you're doing is you are helping TurboTax customers. So that's helping via phone, via chat, via video chat, which is kind of like you'll show up in a little bitty box and kind of help with like screen navigation and things like that. And really, you're not doing any taxes. You're not really providing support on the tax side. What you're helping with is a little bit more on the technical or website support. So nothing too crazy. It's things like site navigation or helping locate a return within TurboTax and things like that. So you're not doing TurboTax. You don't need tax experience, of course. Really, all you need is just kind of a desire to help, and it is a lot of fun. Our contractors love this program. It is a seasonal opportunity. It will run through a tax day, which next year is going to be April 18th. Why contractors love this program so much? One, it's a lot of fun to help the customers. I've heard it kind of phrased by a pro as kind of like a rush. It's like very exciting, and you get to celebrate with a customer when you fix or help resolve some sort of issue or trouble that they're having. But another reason why it's a favorite is because there are a lot of fun incentives available. They're kind of fun, random things that kind of help give it that like peak rush feel. So very interactive, rewards-based things. So it can be things like, hey, everyone that works 50 hours this week gets, whatever, like a gift card or something. Or it's like, hey, if you can work on Saturday this week, you'll get paid more per minute. So, and those are kind of things that like help us, one, keep the energy up, and because tax season is super busy, but it helps us kind of like drive production to where we need it. And then the contractors love it, and I think that's one of the big reasons why people come back year after year. It's a really fun program, and then on the actual kind of customer support side, it's very rewarding. Our support reps for TurboTax, they earn up to $19 per hour, which is paid per productive minute worked. And so that's kind of where that, earn up to type thing comes in. And we do pay by the minute work. So I'll talk about the breakdown in just a second. But that kind of like goes back to the flexibility that Ariel mentioned earlier. You don't necessarily have to work in an hour block time. I mean, you can if that fits your schedule, but you can really break it down to smaller chunks of time, 15 minutes. And so that pay by the minute makes sense when we're working on kind of like the non-standard hourly rates. On average, our contractors who meet and definitely exceed key metrics, they can expect to make between $16 and $19 an hour, just kind of depending on where that minute during the hour place works. But this is definitely one of those kind of like money maker programs. The rates are really good. There's great incentives, and the hours are there if you want them. So it's a lot of fun. And then just kind of to throw it out there as well, I know we may talk about it a little bit later, but we are also looking for bilingual agents for this program. So if you speak Spanish and are fluent in Spanish, you can actually work on this program and earn a little bit more working the Spanish queue. So
this contract is seasonal, but there is a potential to either stay on with this program with reduced hours, just because it gets quieter after tax season. People don't have as many questions for us. Or move to the reserves. The reserves is where you would be invited back each peak season. You would basically get priority placement. You don't have to reapply. So there are ways that this seasonal actually can extend long-term. If you complete the program successfully, you're meeting your metrics, you stayed for the contracted time, then you also have priority placement on another program. Basically, once peak hours end, we want to place you first into another client opportunity because you've already proven to be a great worker, and we want to honor that. We want to give you another great opportunity. So even though this is seasonal, we have tons of other programs that are long-term. Actually, some of our programs have been with us 8 years, 10 years, 12 years. We've had a lot of programs that people have stayed on for years and years. So you can really get situated and comfortable in a role long-term if you'd like. We have a new medical supplies contract that just signed, so we'll be hiring for that soon, as well as support services for major automotive company. That one's going to need people who are bilingual in Spanish and in French Canadian, not both. You don't have to speak both, but we need people for both. And that one actually hires in Canada as well. So keep those in the back of your mind as well, because there's so many, like we've been saying already, so many different options. This one is that great one to get your foot in the door, and then move to something else. Or if you're like, you know what, this one's not the right fit, I'm actually not available on those dates, we've got other ones for you. So please, still keep us in mind for that. We definitely have something for everybody, every skill type. What do I need to do to be good at this job? And what I usually tell people is, first of all, there seems to be a misconception with work from home from some people. It is a real job. There are deadlines. You have you accept an education schedule. We need you to show up for the whole thing. So as long as you understand this, you have to show up. You have to take this seriously. I just told you about our great education team. They will teach you the rest. There's some basic skills we'll look for, of course, but over and beyond, if we ask you to show up and you sign the contract, we want you to show up. And so if you can commit to that, we're going to work with you for sure. I've had many applicants when I'm talking on the phone and I say, well, what's your customer service experience? And they tell me, oh, I don't have any. And then they'll say, I'm just a waiter, or I've only been teaching. And I'm like, those are the biggest customer service things you could do. I mean, serving people at their tables. I mean, those can be some of the most demanding people. Yeah, you have to think, you have to be creative. Don't disqualify yourself. Think, especially, our veterans who don't know how their experience translates. Think of those times where, I had to take calls and diffuse these situations, or you're doing customer service. So think about that critically, before you do your interview, so that you can think outside the box and know how you offer that customer service. Now, I've been answering this in the chat, but for this opportunity, our contractors must live and work in the United States. That does include Hawaii and Alaska. However, we can't hire in California, New York, Pennsylvania, and Washington State. Unfortunately, we would love you, but it's due to state contracting laws. Other than that, that is still customer facing. You are on, phones. This isn't, quiet, just chat. You're on phones, you're interacting with people. There is chat involved as well, but you still have to be comfortable with the phone aspect because that is the majority of the hours. So you have to have a quiet work environment. For TurboTax specifically, not all of our clients, but for TurboTax specifically, they do have you live on a screen. So when you are assisting someone, they have a smart look feature. Now, if you're like, I don't like to be on camera. So if you're like me, just keep in mind, your picture is like the size of a quarter, little thumbnail in the top corner. It's actually, TurboTax has started using it about 2 years ago, and they've actually found that people are more polite when they see a face, that it builds that rapport and trust immediately. So it actually, as scary as it sounds, it's actually helping. Your background is blurred. You don't have to worry about your house being clean behind you or someone running around the background. It'll be blurred out.
There is nothing to fear about joining the gig economy as an independent contractor. For all you need to know about independent contracting, check out episode 148, When to be an Independent Contractor versus Employee, where VertForce's own attorney explains it all.
Now, when you go to apply, and this is for all of our programs, they will ask questions specific to the skills we need for that program. So when I said earlier, you don't need a resume, it's because we look at this. So this part where it'll ask a question like, describe your experience with customer service or describe your experience with a difficult customer. Please don't give us one-word answers. This is your time to shine. This is your time to show us how you fit this role. And I think it's like 6 or 7 questions. And that's where you really want to, don't drop the ball there. That's where we're really looking, since we're not looking at a resume. Yeah, we don't worry about a 4-year gap because you stayed home or anything. We just want to see right there, how do you fit? So try to avoid one-word responses. So after you submit that and you apply now, for TurboTax specifically, for others, there's usually an interview. You'll then wait, and it might be a couple of days before you're selected to interview and you'd schedule. But for TurboTax, because it's 4,000 people that we are hiring for, it's a little handy dandy video interview. So as soon as you submit, it should then be generating a email that's going to invite you to complete a video interview. The video interview, I believe it's 3 questions, maybe 4 questions. It takes about 5 minutes to complete the whole thing. You're not talking to anybody live, but you're going to complete it. We do need you on camera. But if you don't have a webcam yet, you can do it from your cell phone, a tablet, anywhere that you can access the link. You can record yourself doing those answers. Once you receive the offer, the very first page before you read the rest of the details for the offer is going to have class schedule options. So we need you to fully attend a class schedule. So if a class is from 9 to noon, we need to make sure that you are in your seat from 9 to noon, and it'll tell you the dates and everything. So there should be multiple options on there. Click through them and choose the one that works the best for you. We have AM, we have PM, midday, and once you choose that, then you'll read the rest of the offer and you can accept it. But that's going to, once you accept a time, can't change it. So really focus on that. Make sure you make the right choice there. So for this one, it is a mixture of instructor-led and self-paced training. This one goes for 2 weeks. It's about 4 hours a day. And so when you're scheduling, keep in mind that you need to attend that time in full when you set it. Once you complete your education course, then that's where we're talking about that flexibility. You can set your own hours. So you're only committing yourself to those 2 weeks from 9 to noon. And then after that, you can set it however you want. But do make sure when you select that class schedule that you're making sure you're grabbing the right one. If none of those schedules work, don't accept one to hold your spot. Email us and we'll probably tell you, because we'll be hiring in January and February and so forth with this. So we will have a schedule down the line that will probably work for you. With our education schedules, we offer what we call it's an education stipend. So once they complete the class, we want to make sure that you've completed the class. You're not just showing up and getting paid to take training and never get on calls. So once you've completed the class and you're productive, we do pay an education stipend. On top of that, there is, you'll see it on the schedule, it'll say LEAP or it'll say live calls, but basically it's when you start taking calls, even though you're still in the education environment, you're kind of baby stepping into taking calls. That's billable time because you're on the phones. So yes, all of our programs, they don't do an hourly rate for the class, but they do provide just a kind of a thank you bonus once you complete it. And then you can, during the live calls, you're earning for that as well.